Mm, No bids. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good over here. Pretty good day. How are you doing?
Playing another hot day in Los Angeles. Another hot day, yes, but can't complain. It could be Vegas, 110, 109. We can't complain about California weather, can we?
We really can't. We're spoiled.
We are so spoiled rotten. It's so funny. Let me record this. Into the clouds we go. Awesome. Mar, my man, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going? Well, not much really. I'm just boiling. Same thing. Not in California, but I am boiling.
So it gets hot up there, right?
Yeah, I don't know how hot it is in Fahrenheit, but it was like 35 degrees Celsius down here, which is like, I don't know, 90 something, I guess.
Oh yeah. And you guys,
Ooh, I think you froze on my end, Jeff. I missed that.
oh, am I still there?
There you are. I see you
Yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry. I was saying you guys get a lot of wildfires, don't you? Up in
Wildfire.
Canada?
Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, well, not really.
No?
I mean, I'm not in Canada right now, so I wouldn't know.
Right. That's right. You're in Costa Rica. I forgot. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
Well, nothing burns in Costa Rica. That's like tropical paradise, right? I mean, everything
Exactly. Yeah,
got moisture and
it's too humid for stuff to burn down here, you know?
that's true. That's true. What part of Costa Rica?
Uh, it's like, I don't know, like 20 minutes away from San Jose. So, yeah, like in the center of the country. It's a very small country. Like you can go from like north to south in like 6 hours, you know. It's tiny. But but yeah, I mean, it's like a 1 hour drive from the beach. Yeah. It's
Man.
it's a very rural place though. Like we're very secluded from like, the city, which is nice though, because the city's quite, gets really noisy. But yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it
Yeah,
does.
to answer your question, in Vancouver, we didn't really have that many wildfires though. It was, because it's mostly, winter and cloudy and satinous all year long, so there's no place for fires.
Yeah, no, but I've heard it was weird and couple news stories and a couple people told me that there's like several wildfires that burn at one time in Canada, and I was like, what? It's like I thought it was too cold up there to burn, but I
I,
don't
I,
know.
I don't know. I don't know what province was it in. Might have been British Columbia. I'm not really sure. But as far as I remember, like in Vancouver, we didn't really have any fires. I mean, probably I just probably was too busy, working that I didn't even notice.
Probably a different part of the country. Yeah, 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 yeah. Awesome. And I see we got Jim here. Jim, you want to drop in and say hello? Jimmy there? Maybe he's just listening in. Yeah, but I'm sure he'll drop in and say something in a minute. Um, so yeah, I wanted to start off the show, um, talk about wins for the week, and me being the ham that I am, I guess I'll start. um, Wins for me this week, as far as getting things done, getting song done, which is the whole program. I got to tell you, Musiversal, it is pretty cool. Madison, I was talking to Mara about this last week, and have you heard of them, Madison?
What was the name of it again? Could you repeat it? You say Musiversal?
Musiversal?
I don't know it. I
Yeah.
don't know it.
Short term, because I remember when it first, and now they're, I'm getting signed up again. But basically, what it is, a couple $100 a month, you get access to all the engineers, musicians, mixers, songwriters, co-writers, even, they design your album art cover, this whole thing for $200 a month, and it's pretty much unlimited. And I've decided to try it out because I'm planning on incorporating it into the community as a way of one of our courses. It'll be part of that where, because basically with, GSD, it's all about getting songs done as fast as possible. I mean, clearly you and Mar are like two total pros at just slinging music out there, killing it. And the purpose, of course, is to help music artists that, get stuck, life gets in the way. And that's what I like about this Musiversal is it's all the access. And so I'm trying it. It's my second week. The only thing that's been off-putting about it is that you have to prepare for the sessions with charts, which that's like, for me, I mean, most of the sessions I've ever done in my life are just straight up just, hey, make a beat. Okay, I'm gonna do a melody. All right, I got a guitar. Oh, you can play keys? Okay, cool. Oh, my buddy plays bass. It's just this random, but Musiversal is very like session, and it's 30-minute, 40-minute sessions. And so this week I got two songs that I'm working on. I'm doing a cover of No Diggity. How the cover will be, but it's gonna be kind of like we were talking about the other day. Put more guitar in it, make it, I don't know, funkier because it's already pretty dim. But I would definitely put more guitar in it. So I'm gonna do a version of that. I'm also doing a version You Drop the Bomb on Me by the Gap, and that's crazy. So I I got the drums done for Blackstreet, No Diggity, and I've got a beat and some bass going for You Drop the Bomb on Me. Both players were killer. The drummer was absolutely phenomenal, and the bass player was phenomenal too. And so I'm excited for both, and those are my victories for the week. Madison, how about you? What have you been getting done this week?
Ooh, actually, our last conversation spurred me to do some thinking about kind of just strategizing of my next couple weeks. So, of thinking about my personal project. So, that in itself was a win for me for looking at my next coming weeks, budgeting out time to finish some personal project songs and just knowing, okay, that's what I'm working on. I'm going to finish these two songs in the next month. That's my goal. So, yet to be seen if they truly do get done, but I'm seeing it as a win to even put it in the planner and budget that time.
That's awesome. I mean,
Ooh, you froze. Sorry, what did you just say?
tell me more about these songs.
Oh yeah, these are just like a couple songs. I have the backlog of personal project songs that I've started that just need to get done. And I need to I need to do it. Needs to be finished. Like I have many songs, like I'd say like 5 or 6 that are like started in one way or another, whether that's like on the guitar or like actually in Ableton. So now I need to complete some. So I wrote them all out. I was looking, okay, which ones do I really want to finish as soon as possible? Put those to the top, and I'm like, okay, these are the two. So they're definitely more, I'd say, more on the, hyper poppy side of things for one of them. And the other one is like the opposite end. It's a bit more acoustic. So that'll be kind of a fun exercise to do these two completely different songs and somehow create some kind of cohesive artistry between them. So we'll see.
Oh, you will. You will. I mean, I know you can knock them out like that, and you're very diverse. So that's awesome. I mean, when you are working on your songs, do you have like a tracking sheet, a way of tracking your progress? What do you do to stay on top and remember what's the next thing you need to do for the song or what have you?
So that's actually like I do make lyric sheets for all the songs that I do, and that's kind of my home base for when I'm coming back to remember which songs I've been working on. I'll kind of just like flip through my little notebook of my lyric sheets, and sometimes it'll include a chord sheet on there if I wrote it on guitar. If I started in Ableton, I usually don't have any chords. So I'm just like doing everything by ear. But with with writing on the guitar, I'll have the chords there too, and then I'll just kind of flip through. And sometimes I'll forget that there's a song I started, so that'll help me remember. And that's what I was referencing when I was like, okay, I need to get a couple songs done. What have I got cooking? I came and looked at the lyrics. And yeah, that's my home base. I'm sure there's a much more optimized way to do that because I just have a lot of this information in my head. So I don't really recommend my way of doing it. But that's kind of, yeah, it generally works for me.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Very cool. Mar, what are your wins for the week? What's the force trying to hold us back?
Well, it's kind of in the same vein as Madison. I'm gonna take either Saturday or Sunday. We'll see how the how it moves with the schedule, but I'm just gonna take an entire day just like get some content, just record some stuff for social media and have some like pretty decent stuff there to post in like the coming like couple months, right? So that's going to be very productive. So I'll be doing that this weekend. I'll be doing some like guitar playthroughs, behind the scenes, stuff like that. It's going to be, pretty cool. And yeah, I need to finish a couple songs I'm working on. Yeah, that's basically it. I might not do it this weekend because I'm going to be doing the like recording content, but next week my plan is to finish those two songs like completely finished, written, recorded, mixed and mastered, right? Also like yeah, I do the same thing. Everything's up here. Like I keep track of what I'm doing up here. Like I know that I need to track some guitars for song A, and I know I need to do some, I don't know, maybe like some sense for like song B. Like yeah, it's all up here. So I mean if it works, right?
For sure, for sure. And you got to give yourself a deadline. Got to give yourself.
Absolutely. Yep. Because nobody's, pressuring me to do it. But if nobody does, then you know what I mean? Like you have to, kind of like beat yourself up to make things happen. Because sometimes you can just get carried away with like other things, and you're like, maybe I'll work on that song tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you go, I have other things to do. So yeah, and the next week I hope to have at least the instrumental tracks to two songs and hopefully either track vocals the week or maybe if I find some little, space there, maybe for like 4 hours to track those two songs for the vocals. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the plan.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, yeah. I am working on. It's going to be my own personalized music journal, but it's based off this crazy guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Grant Cardone. He's pretty wild. He's like this real estate dude. I don't know. Some of the stuff he says, I'm just like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard somebody talk and you're like, you kind of blowing some smoke here, but some of it's true, but some of it's like, you're kind of wacky, but whatever. But he's got this cool journal and it's called the 10X Planner. But I'm making a planner based off that to track everything, to give myself my goals and the deadlines. I'm going to put a slot for that to put the deadline right after that, and keep me on track. Because otherwise, there's no way. Just like I'm doing multiple songs right now, like Madison. I've got kind of like it's not extremely organized, but I've got like this kind of branch, and it's got the song title, and then it's got what I've done so far, and then the next step, and then a date I need to get that done. So that's something I'm going to be introducing along with the GSD course, which I'm excited about because sometimes we have all this stuff in our head. It's like what do the Cranberries say? It's in your head, right? It's all stuck in your head, and sometimes I don't know. I feel like that's messed with my flow over the years. It's just like I have all these killer ideas, but yet they don't become real until I write them down. So that's something I'm really working on, and I want to share with the group. Um, but I wanted to ask you both, uh, in your career, what times have you had a major setback, and what did you do to overcome it? And I'll give you an example to start off first. We all got our heartbreaks here, but for me, and this is, sometimes I do this in some of my shows so I get a little whimper, a little sympathy from the audience. But there was a point in time that I was supposed to be the bass player for Linkin Park. I know it's crazy. I was actually supposed to play bass for Linkin Park. This is before they came out with the first album, and I saw this ad, and I was like, "Holy moly!" It said, "Rock band into Black Eyed Peas and the Deftones, looking for a bass player, has a deal." Now, mind you, this is when I first came to LA. Everybody had a deal. Everybody, oh, I got a deal. Sometimes it was true, sometimes it wasn't. But I just thought that was so interesting. Like Black Eyed Peas and the Deftones. I don't see the connection, but it sounds interesting. So I went and picked up the music from the drummer who was at UCLA, and I checked it out, and it was really, 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 really good, including the artwork. They had this kind of underground artwork, and I was like, damn, like these guys they're serious. I mean, I don't know if they really have a deal or what they, but I mean, the music's legit. So I practice and I practice and I practice because my main instrument is guitar, but the opportunity was for bass, and I played bass too. So I go to the audition space, which was Hollywood Boulevard. I'll never forget it. One of those dark, dingy rehearsal spots. We go upstairs, and I go to the rehearsal room. And I don't know, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you've been to band auditions or some kind of auditions. It's always kind of like this, gosh, should I really be here? Is this going to be whack? Like. But we get in there, and they say, okay, we're going to play to the wall. We want you to imagine this wall is a big, huge arena filled with, thousands of people. And we expect you to play like you're playing for thousands of people, not like this little rehearsal space. I said, okay. So I'm imagining what I would do in front of 20,000 people. So we do the music, and I go absolutely nuts. I'm jumping up and down. I'm going down to the ground. I'm doing every stunt move I can because that's basically what I would do. And the bigger the crowd, the wilder I would probably get because I'm thinking the visual aspects and everything. And so after we get done jamming, they're like, okay. I said, look, we want to ask you some questions. I said, ask away. They said, what's the latest book you've read? And I was like, wow, it's like I've never had a band ask me about any kind of anything really intellectual at all. And I felt kind of dumb because it's me, I'm just a sucker for like motivational stuff. So it was probably some motivational book, but I felt kind of like not that deep because I'm sure they read something much more poetic or interesting. And they're like, okay. And then they're like, did you go to college? And I was like, yeah. Did you finish? And I was like, no. Are you gonna finish? I said, well, if things work out with this band, maybe I have to put it on hold. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And then the last question was, do you drink? And I could tell that they had had a problem. That nobody told me anything. But I was like, occasionally, social drinker. I'm like, okay, well, this is a sober band. There will be no drinking. And I said, okay, I respect that. It's probably better. It's better that you guys don't really get that crazy because I'll be in good company. And honestly, I'm not really that wild myself. So anyway, I kept in touch over the next month or so. Every few weeks I get a call from this dude Mike in the band. Mike would give me a call and say, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "I'm working on my solo stuff. What are you doing?" "Oh, we're laying down some tracks, but I just want to keep in touch. You never know." I said, "Are you going to need me? Do you want me to come back?" He says, "Well, it's kind of some political stuff within the band, but I really like you. So I just want to keep in touch, blah, blah, blah." So we do that maybe two, three times, and then the months go by. And then maybe about 5, 6 months later, I'm leaving a different rehearsal space. I'm getting out onto Sunset Boulevard, and I put on K Rock, And this band comes on, and oh my God, they were killing it. I was like, this band is killing. The DJ comes on after she goes, that was Linkin Park, formerly known as Hybrid Theory. And they're awesome and they're going to be huge. And they were. And they blew up. Oh my God. I mean, it's not like almost being in a band that was like one hit wonder. This band did some stuff. And I took that really hard. I took it really hard because I said, you know what? That's my chance. I'm never going to have another chance. I blew my one chance. Maybe I got too crazy when I auditioned. Maybe I wasn't crazy enough. Maybe I wasn't deep enough. I should have given a better book that was reading something deep and cool, or And so I dwelled on that for a couple of years because I couldn't escape it. Anytime, anything, Lincoln Park was everywhere. Um, and so I kind of went into a little bit of a depression, but I came back from it. After a while, I started to reform. I made a new band. I produced it myself, um, and we got a deal out. We did amazing shows, and so I totally made a comeback. So I guess I say all that to say is that it's no disappointment is as big as you think it is, and it can only do to you what you allow it to. And so the day I woke up and said, you know what? Yeah, so what? I still got something to give. That's when I moved on and kept on. I've been having fun ever since. So, Madison, I'll say you. What was one of your biggest musical career disappointments? Tell me how you went through it and tell me how you made it through.
Man, I feel like I haven't had like one specific moment, more so a feeling of just your trajectory of like going in the wrong direction or feeling like I didn't have the resources. Um and specifically for me, I would say it was actually when I left for university. Um I ended up around just like due to whatever decisions I made or like however the timing was, randomness, who knows. I was just not surrounded by musicians the way I had always been. Um, which had a really big impact on me. I wasn't like doing music as much myself too, just not in a very creative environment or space. Which I went from, all my life up till then always performing, always making music, collaborating with other musicians to not really doing much of that at all as I was entering university for the first time. And so that trajectory, I reached a point where I looked around and I was like, I'm not doing music. This is crazy. Like, how am I not doing music? This has been my thing my whole life. This is nuts. And it just required really drastic changes in life circumstances that I forced upon my life and myself. So just flinging myself across the country, like I wasn't doing so hot in school. So I dropped out, I moved, I surrounded myself very purposefully by musicians, started making music. It's like, yeah, I would say that was kind of my dark night of the soul music wise. But I do have a funny anecdote of I wasn't disappointed, but it's one of those funny, like, oh, I could have done that, but I didn't moments. When I was a kid, I got to the last round of Kids Bop, and and they were giving us the contracts, and my mom was calling my dad, and he was like, "You are not letting her do that." Like he was very against it. He was like, "This can't happen. Like we're not doing this." Like he was really not down for like a child in the music industry, like because it was also the year that they did a tour. I don't know if they did that every year, but they were touring, and so he was like, "No, like I don't like that." And he was probably being discerning. It was probably a good idea. Like kids, like entertainment stuff is. I know it's kind of messy. So upon reflection, by the time I was like, "Man, I could have been in Kids Bobs."
That's too funny. That's too funny. Yeah, but he was looking out for you, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, especially like being out here, like you like can see it. I don't know, like I've just been in a couple situations where I've seen like kids and their parents like in entertainment type of spaces, like, and as an adult seeing it, I'm just like, man, yeah, there is so much room for so much weirdness to happen. So I look back and I'm actually like, for the best. So that's why I would say that one's not a regret, but it is a funny anecdote because then I was seeing all the kids, because that was back in the day when Kids Bop was always on the TV.
Oh
So
yeah.
every time I was watching TV, I was seeing all the kids that I had auditioned with, and we were all the last ones in the last round. And so it was like, oh, like, yeah, I would have been with all of them. And so I'd see them and I was like, oh man.
Oh, did it bother you for a long time? Were you watching and just like, oh,
It was something in between because I knew Kids Bop was considered kind of cringe. Like at that point, like I was in middle school. I know my peers would have made fun of me for it, but I was very like, I want to be in show business. So I didn't care that it was kind of cringe. So I did feel like, oh man, like I wish I could have done that. But then even like by the time I was in high school, I was already kind of understanding like, yeah, it's probably for the best, like to not be a child in that environment.
that's true. You know, when you're young and you have that kind of access, I mean, anything can happen for sure. And there's really only been a few that have seemed to, I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty that, but there's also been some stuff, like a lot of those Nickelodeon kids. It's just like, ooh, ooh, and some stuff went on, maybe shouldn't have happened. So yeah, yeah. Pops was looking out, huh?
Definitely, definitely. I thanked him later on. I was like, thank you for actually stepping in because I would never let my kids do that now. Like, I don't know if I were to have kids, I wouldn't, I would have done the same thing. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I get it.
unless you can be with them every second because
Exactly, exactly.
a lot of adults around and you don't know. I mean, you just don't know.
Hmm, hmm.
Huh. That's a trip. Mar, I'll say you, man. Give me a huge disappointment in your music career and the comeback.
Oh man, well, I got a couple. Well, I got more than a couple, but the two that come to mind. So the first one is kind of funny. I want to say like 11 or 12, and I was in a band, and we are like playing like a tribute to Foo Fighters was gonna play a show in here in Costa Rica. So, like the band teacher, is the bass player for like the biggest band down here. They've opened for Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, all the big people that have played here. They've basically opened for them, and they were going to open for Foo Fighters like a couple of nights after the rehearsal. So, anywho, I was supposed to rehearse one day, but oh no, I was supposed to play the show, the tribute show. So, but for some reason, my mom booked a dentist appointment that same day and I couldn't go. So I'm like, whatever, what can I do? I just can't go. Sorry, guys. And I was the drummer in the band, so they had to like find a new drummer, whatever. Next week, I go to band practice and they're like looking at each other and I'm like, guys, what's going on? They're like, do we tell them? And they just show me a picture with Dave Grohl and I'm like, Jesus. So Dave Grohl comes to visit and takes a picture with like basically everybody and like signs autographs and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I could have made Dave Grohl and I didn't. But anyway, so that's the one. How did I come back from that? I don't know. I was just like, well, what can I do? Thanks, Mom. My teeth are clean though, but yeah. Um, Second one was that was like a few years ago, like maybe like 5 years ago. So we basically spent the entire like winter break just like planning a music video and like we spent like I don't know like $1,000, which is like not a lot, but for like an 18-year-old kid like you and your friends spending $1,000 in a music video is it's quite a lot of money. And we shot it in 2 days outside in the sun and everything, and it was like a whole production. And once the music video comes out, it gets like I don't know, like maybe like 1,000 views on YouTube, and we're like, oh really? All that time and effort just for like a couple, you know what I mean? Like just 1,000 like views on like YouTube, and I got like maybe very like cents in streaming for the song. So it was like, oh well, we just got to keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, those I feel like that's something that happens to like basically everybody who's just like starting. You spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time and effort into doing something, and then you don't get the results that you want. I mean, the music video is pretty cool, but it's like, yeah, it's a learning experience to get the exposure on, this weird monster that we call social media. But yeah, that's those are like the two that come to mind.
Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah, disappointments are hard to come back from. There's been so many through my music journey for sure. I would say the biggest thing for me looking back is that I probably wasn't discerning enough. In other words, I would join bands or musical projects, but I didn't evaluate the other players as far as like how committed are they and how talented are they, you know? And I think it's like, you know, you want to be nice, but then sometimes you realize it's like not everybody's always on the same musical. Not that I mean, I'm no Prince, I'm no musical genius, but I'm just saying it's like playing with other artists that are at your level or better. I didn't do enough of that. I always thought, you know what, man, we'll work it out. I'll be the one to get us through. And I think if I would have been more discerning sometimes and just said, you know what, you guys are really cool, but I just don't see the commitment. I just don't see it, you know, and wait for the better opportunity, right? I think hindsight 2020. So we're streaming live on YouTube, and it looks like we got a question here. It says here, can't read her name. I don't know if it says Bliss. She says, how can I write a strong song title? Madison, tell us. How do you write a strong song title?
Hi, Bliss. Well, I guess the obvious thing that comes to mind would be like, what's the hook? That's one way to do it. Also, I really like song titles that are kind of when you see them, there's a little bit of a question of what exactly it's referring to, if that makes sense. Like something that like makes you kind of just perk up, like, huh, what does that mean? You know what I mean? I don't know, that's one way to look at it. Like, what would you, as an audience member, if you saw it, be intrigued by? So, like, yeah, so based on either repetition or the hook, like whatever you're repeating a lot, or something related to the song that poses some kind of a intrigue.
Man, it's a good song title.
Sorry, would you
Well,
mind? Oh, I didn't hear what you just said, Jeff. Sorry.
I
Oh,
just heard
sorry.
Mary, so I just assume he was yeah.
Sorry.
Well, this is what well, hey there. This is what I do. I just I don't know. It's like what am I feeling when I listen to the song? Like it doesn't really have to be related to the lyrics. I usually don't name my songs like any like the word because I usually just choose like one word titles. I don't even sing that particular word. It's just what does a song make me think about or like feel? So I don't know. Maybe just play the song, close your eyes, and say this. That's gonna be the song title. Also, I like song titles that are like unique, that make you think. Because there's a lot of songs out there named Runaway. I'm not, but you know what I mean. Like it's try to be, convey a certain message. Make people want to click in your song and go, oh, interesting.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Have you guys noticed, is it me, or are you seeing more like really interesting song titles that are they're kind of quirky, but as I well, I don't think
I feel like that might be a product of the internet for sure. Like needing to stand out, needing to like get to the top of especially like Spotify searches. Like kind of like what Mar was saying, it's like if you do something like I don't know, like across the ocean. I'm trying to think of something generic. I'm having a hard time thinking of something generic. There's going to be so many of them, so you're just less discoverable. But also, I think it's based kind of on what we were talking about last time with people digging into their niche more and like digging into their weird. Seems like it might be related to that as well.
most def most definitely. I mean, I'm looking at song titles right now, just one of my Spotify playlists. And I mean, Soul Solar, like what is that? Partners in Crime, After Party, Cretin, So Ready, Reflection, I'm Just Wanting You, Get to Know Ya, Can You Help Me, Little Haven. I mean, Heart Attack. Wow, that's a title. Um, Space Cow. Hey man, I mean, listen, whatever. I'm sure there's something really cool to that. Um, and here's one: The Thief of Markaresh. Wow, that sounds like a book title, a movie title. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. As far as titles goes, here's an idea that I've come up with, and I've never used it, but I think it would be so interesting. Every now and again, I will be in a Target or something like that, and I'll just go browse the book titles. And some of those titles are awesome. And I'm thinking, you know what? These could be some really cool songs. Have either of you ever tried something like that?
Well, actually, I was there's a chapter title to one of the Chronicles of Narnia books. That's the title is Sorcery and Sudden Vengeance, and I was like, okay, and so now I have a song with that name.
That goes so hard. That's so cool. Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's like the lyrics don't like they kind of, but not really. It's just a cool song title.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I never thought of that. But there's been so many good movies or lines from movies that you could write a song about, or writing a song about a movie that you're watching. Sometimes I'll be jamming and have the TV down or the laptop, the volume turned down, but I could write a song just based off the visuals, just like he's saying this, she's saying that, and they're running from the fire. I mean, there's just so much stuff you could pull from that. And I'm thinking, man, I had a song about it. I got a question for you guys. Live preparing for a live show versus recording. What's the difference? How do you prepare for both? Madison, you start.
So I've been a like studio rat for a long time now. Like I mostly am in studio or like going to someone else's studio. So I haven't done a lot of live stuff. I've done a little bit more recently, but mostly with friends type of shows. That's one of my goals actually is to do more live. But when I was younger, that was my main thing. It was opposite. I was never in the studio, always live. So I'd say I think that like for live shows, it's a little bit less forgiving. Like when I'm thinking of vocals, at least, it's like you really need to prepare like a couple of days in advance to be able to have that kind of stamina. Um, whereas, yes, that's the case too if you're doing a super long vocal session, but it's you have a little bit more wiggle room. So I would say that's the main difference is like you're really, and if you're performing live, you're doing like this full body thing. Like it requires like a different kind of energy. Whereas in the recording studio, there's different like mental energies that are, I guess, being expelled. So different preps in terms of different energies, I guess, being prepared and accessed.
How do you prepare for a really good recording session? How do you get into your zone? Let's say you're going from your regular day and now it's on. Like, how do you get into that zone?
I feel like one of my like cheat codes for this, if I'm really not able to get in the zone, is taking a shower. Like that's first of all, it literally like opens up your nasal passages, like gets your vocal cords like all nice and warm. Like it's just physically doing something helpful for you. And just the element of water is just so, like it's been historically and in so many like different types of spirituality linked with like creativity and kind of tapping into your intuition. And you know how you get like shower thoughts and shower ideas? Like there's this idea that when you're taking a shower, your intuition just kind of opens up. It literally can just be because taking a shower is just relaxing. But whatever's going on there, it seems to put me into a different, more creative, open zone and physically prepares me to actually sing.
That's a fantastic idea. I've never even thought of that, but you're right. You know, put you in a zone. It's a good little restart. Ah, I have to think about that. Very cool. Very cool. Mar, what about you, man?
I feel like it's more physical for me. Like sure, the mental part plays a big role in it, but um yeah, so for a live show, because of the genre I make, I feel like I don't know, I try not to think about it too much, you know what I mean? Like maybe the day of the show, I'm just like going on about my day. Um Probably just to not really, you know what I mean? It's like if you're gonna just jump in the cold, pool, just jump, you know what I mean? If you're just like, oh, it's cold, just jump in the pool, you know what I mean? But yeah, I try that day to obviously drink some tea, some warm water. Maybe try not to talk too much during the day before the show. Usually because I scream a lot, so I wouldn't be able to do it properly. Usually work out in the morning. And something I do like the night before is like I watch like a whole live performance of like an artist I'm listening to, and I'm like, I just do that to like, I don't know, get psyched, inspired by it. But for a studio date, usually I record it at home, and sometimes when I go to the studio, it's like basically the same thing. So when I record at home, I tend to go early the night before to bed. I drink a lot of tea. I usually record around like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. That's when like my vocal cords are like, warmed up naturally. Um, and yeah, I'm just like in a very like zen state of mind, you know what I mean? Because when I take too long to track my vocals, something's wrong, you know? Usually when a session's fast and I do like one or two takes per, whatever line or something, or maybe like phrase, like it's good. But if I have to do more than that, that means I'm just like thinking about something else. So I try to just like not look at my phone that much, drink a lot of, like I said, hot water, tea. And yeah, I'm just like focused. I go into the studio or whatever, like my own home studio, and I'm just like, lights are off. Uh, I'm focused. I sing, and then that's it. So it's more like, yeah, for live shows, it tend to be more like, yeah, I'm playing a live show today, no big deal. But for studio dates, I'm more like, okay, needs to be perfect, you know?
Awesome. That's awesome. That's another good idea. Why not watch a good live show before a show of a band or artist that you're like, hell yeah, you just sitting there watching, you're like, that's how you do it. It just gets you pumped up, right? Um, it's a good idea. You should do that more often. Huh. Very, very cool. So I've got another question here. It says, what's the first thing that you start with when writing a song? Lyrics, melody, chords, or vibe? That's
That is a very good question because it's all for me, it's different every time. There are definitely certain workflows that are more efficient. Like I think starting with some kind of like a chord progression or laying down some kind of a loop and then starting to suss out the vibe and build on top of that is for me what makes a song get done the fastest. Like I've had sessions where I've kind of just like played around with something and then finished the song like that day. And like then even I'd had one song where I literally finished it like that night. The next day, like just like got like someone to mix it. Like my husband actually is a mixing engineer. So he mixed it and then I was like, boom, it's done. Like we're releasing it now. So like that's the most efficient. But unfortunately, like a lot of my songs come to me with like a lyric and a melody, and then I'll finish writing it in my head. And this is the most annoying way to write a song because then you have to go back and figure out the chords and figure out like, and of course, I'm creating the most crazy chord changes in my head that make no sense. And so it's very difficult to lay down. So that can also happen. And then, sitting down at the guitar and noodling that way is like something in between. So I'd say those are my three main ways of where things start.
That's awesome. So, you ever have a situation where it's like you hear it in your head, and like you said, it's like, how in the heck this chord I'm hearing, like I don't know what it is. It sounds good in here, but like, how do you figure it out? Because sometimes you're hearing stuff that's just it's out of this world. Like, what do you do?
This is why I'm struggling with when I was saying, oh, I have this list of unfinished songs. I'd say about a solid two-thirds of them are songs that are sitting in this situation where like I've written them completely in my head. And there really is a level of humility that needs to embraced when bringing these songs to actually finish because the fact of the matter is they may not end up actually sounding good here in the physical. So like there's things you can hold on to like, oh, like you can hold on to these lyrics, you can hold on to this melody line, like, but there are some things that are probably going to have to change when it's in your head translated into Ableton or Pro Tools or whatever. So yeah, like it's difficult though. Like you have to sit down, like it's easiest for me to start like figuring out, the bass line based on it, and then you just figure it out from there. Noodle for me it's a bit easier than to noodle on the piano to figure out like, I don't know, chord voicings, whatever, figure out what's going on. But it's a process and it's so time consuming. Like it's not ideal, but sometimes songs they're like little curses, like they won't leave you alone until they're finished. So I have
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah. They haunt you, literally. They haunt you. They want you to put them out into the world. Yeah. Yeah, because what I can come up with in my head is far better than what I can play on guitar. That is so funny. But yeah, that's the way it's the download, right? Mar, what's your spin on it?
Well, it's kind of strange because I hear a completed song, sometimes from start to finish. Other times it's just like the chorus or like maybe like a verse or the intro, but it's usually the entire thing. I can hear like the entire arrangement. So it's a challenge if like, okay, I'm hearing this. Let me either like hum it or like, do something like just get my phone and start like, and then I have to literally immediately or like maybe the day after that, just sit in my room with my guitar and be like, okay, is that possible to do, Yeah, like you guys said, it's like sometimes like I have like I'm very stubborn. I'm like, no, 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 I want this lick that's here. I want to play it. And then you play it, it sounds super like very, very stupid. And you go like, no, 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 but I just gotta, what if I do this? It sounds even worse. But it's like, okay, song is king. So I just gotta sometimes just let it go and come up with something different. But yeah, it's usually, just like I hear everything in my head and then yeah, I just get like the bass first, like the main chords, and then I do the bass guitar, and then like the melody and the lyrics and the the vocal stuff, they come much much after. I focus on like crafting like a very gripping instrumental, and then I figure out the vocals. But yeah, it's a compromise for sure.
So pretty much you come up with the track and then the vocals after. How do you come up with your melodies? How's that come to you?
It's so simple. It's so silly, but it's so simple. So because when the entire instrumental is like done, like fully mixed, whatever, it's done. I go, okay, I just play it and I just start singing. And I'm like, oh, it sounded decent. Okay, that's the verse. Okay, let's do the chorus now. No, 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 no. Okay, cool. The chorus is done. Cool. That's it. It takes me literally 3 minutes.
Wow. Wow, man. But you're definitely in a flow state. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes for me it just kind of comes in my head while playing the guitar riff or something like that. Sometimes I'll get stuck and I'll bust out a little keyboard and just see what I can play on top, what sounds interesting. But I come up with this crazy thing I got to tell you guys. This is nuts. But I just discovered this the past year or so. Sometimes I'll just start singing numbers. Have you ever tried that? I'm telling you that give it a shot. I know it sounds crazy, but like I'll just do like a phone number sequence. And of course, we all know the 8675309. Jenny, I got your number, right? But it hit me one day. I was like, wait a minute now, wait a minute. I think that's what he did. Or whoever wrote it. I think they were like, man, I don't know what to write over this damn song. And he's like, hey man, just what about that, the girl you were talking to? Oh yeah, yeah. Well, here's a 86753. And so I've tried that a few times, believe it or not. It creates a great cadence rhythm, and then you put on a little melody to it, and it's like, wait a minute, these are some really cool verbal, vocal cadences. I never would just do a number sequence. Sing your phone number.
It's like Sudoku, but like
Right?
in song form.
It's crazy, but it's come through.
You know what?
Um,
It's so funny that you mentioned it because my sister does that just for fun. She's like a classically trained pianist, and she's like, seven. I don't know.
Sometimes it's just because like I'm dying to remember, like or a phone code or something like that, some combination. I'm like, I gotta make a melody. I'm gonna forget it. Um, how important is song structure? What are your go-to formats? How do you switch it up, Madison? The instead of the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus outro. Like, how do you decide your song structure?
I mean, I guess like it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's funny I brought up Sudoku before, but it's almost like every song is a little puzzle to where once you get one little part of it, it starts to make sense of what the structure needs to be around it for that initial nugget that you have to make sense. So I guess the chord structure kind of, or excuse me, the song structure, chord structure too, but the song structure kind of builds itself around that initial nexus point. Of course, like I'm doing a lot of like very poppy stuff, so it's gonna lean into like a lot of tropes. I find for myself when I'm wanting to do something a little bit more creative, song structure wise, writing on the guitar for whatever reason for me makes that happen more. Like I feel a little bit freer. Um, Maybe I don't really know why, to be honest. So for me, that's just my little hack, is I know that like, okay, I'm more likely to do a weird song here where like there's more freedom, like a stranger chord like progression and like changing keys midway and like maybe having like two verses, a chorus, and then a verse in it. You know what I mean? So like that's for me my space to be more creative. But you know, there's no rules. That's I guess what's fun about music is that you really don't have to. You don't have to do anything the old-fashioned way. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Mara, how say you?
Yes, there are no rules whatsoever. You can just do whatever you want. But usually what I do is I don't know. It's just like I said, like I can hear the entire song playing in my head. So sometimes when like it's just like maybe not the entire song, but maybe just like a section, and then I'm writing it, I just start like imagining how the song would sound like on my AirPods. And then I'm like, what do I feel like naturally like where does the song naturally go? Do I need a bridge here? Do I need to do the chorus a couple of times? Do I need to go back to the intro? Do I need a little like a maybe like a bar of like a little break and then boom, intro again? Like I don't know. It's just yeah, like I just let the song take me whatever the song wants to take me. And yeah, like I said, I just like imagine if I'm listening, if this song belongs to another artist and I'm just listening to it, one makes sense, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what I do usually, and I think we talked about this the other night, I always have a couple song references, always, always, because they really thought about this much more than I will. And I'll sit there and I'll listen to the track and I'll be like, I don't like how they went to that bridge there. It just didn't. What was the point? Like, or I might be like, yeah, that's a killer bridge. Like, I need to come up with something like that. But sometimes I'll be listening to stuff and it's just like there are elements that are missing. Like the song is basically a chorus and a little bit of a turnaround and a chorus. And I'm like, how'd they pull that off? There's really no structure. It's just the chorus, jam a little bit, and then back to a great chorus. And then another thing I'm seeing, you know, so much, especially in modern day music with pop, is double choruses, triple choruses. And it's like, you know, and I always wondered about it because it's like to me, I've done that as well. But I took this course by Ryan Tedder where he breaks down his mojo, which that dude is pretty intense. And basically, that's how he comes up with all this catchy stuff is that he is recording and he's fighting for the best of the best to survive. So, for example, he'll put the verse together. He'll come up with like 5 or 6 different verse types. And he just basically he'll eliminate it until he finally finds someone who's like, this is the one. This is the one. It beats all the other melodies. It sits the best, feels the best to him. And then the chorus. He'll go down and make 6, 7, 8 choruses, and then he'll eliminate and say, that was kind of whack. But the first part of that part, the first part was pretty good. Second half, I don't know. Combine it with another chorus. And then it's like, oh, this I've got 2 good choruses or 3. And then he'll just do the double hook, which is like, wow, wow, double, triple. Crazy, right?
I would go absolutely insane doing that because I am an overthinker. So I don't know. I would just go completely crazy. I would never finish a song. That is insane. You know, I just go with my gut instinct. It's like, okay, if that sounded good to me, you know, it's like, oh yeah, let's do that. But yeah, it's pretty insane.
When in doubt, flip a coin.
it kind
You
of
guys,
reminds me like in a different way of like Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars when they were writing Uptown Funk. They were like, every single section we make is gonna be a chorus.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, another way to look at it. Like every single one we make has to be good enough to be a chorus by itself. So it's almost like the opposite or inverse in some ways of what you just said, because like they're just like, no, like we're going for like all good ideas. All the good ideas we find, we're keeping all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
And if you think about it, every line in that song is like killer, right? What was the name of the song again? Um,
Oh, Uptown Funk. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Uptown Funk. The
Yeah.
whole dun, 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 white gold. I mean, it's one big hook. Too hot. Dun, 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 dun. Bruno's sick. Bruno's sick. I saw him live a couple, 2, 3 years ago. He's probably about as close to, I guess, Michael Jackson or Prince as we've got these days. But he's entertaining. Pretty good songs.
I remember the first time I heard that song, I was in Universal Studios with my family. I was just like shopping for like looking for hats, and it just came on. I was like, "Wait, did Michael Jackson? What? No, he's dead. No, was that like an unreleased track?" And I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And it's a trip. His journey was pretty interesting because really he was just writing and producing, but got him on a couple of hooks there on a couple of other people's songs, and I guess that's what put him on the map. Um, okay, I got another question here. What tools or apps do you use for songwriting, including DAWs, note apps, voice memos? What's your weapons, Madison?
Voice memos, of course, like you said, major key, because in the moment, need to get that melody down, need to get like the groove down. Like I would just love actually to see a series where a bunch of songwriters just show their unhinged voice notes, because I'm sure it's like, because mine can be unhinged if I need to remember like, oh no, I need the groove to be like chicka chicka dun dun dun, chicka dun. You know what I mean? Like just ridiculous. So definitely that. And also just like the notes app, of course, to like quickly write down lyrics if necessary. And I'm all about Ableton. Like that's what I use for like writing, recording, everything. So yeah, I'd say those are the holy trinity for me.
Uh, Ableton, tell me, what are the top things that you love about it?
So to be honest, I think it's really the fact that that's the one I learned on, that now doing anything else feels like kind of crazy. But also, I don't know, it's formatted in a way that feels really logical to me, and like you can move really quickly, if that makes sense. Like it is, of course, like initially I guess supposed to be something for like live as well, which is cool that you can also do that if you want to. Like, and for looping and things like that, it is optimized for that. But I don't know, it's very like sleek too and minimalist, which I like. Like when I open Pro Tools, I am so overwhelmed and overstimulated just like looking at it. So I think that's what kind of initially drew me to it. People I saw working on it, I was like, I like how Ableton looks. Like it feels more approachable. Um, and now that that's what I learned on, again, it just feels like insurmountable to like do something else. But luckily, a lot of the people I'm around also work on Ableton, so it's just kind of worked out that like it's very easy to also collaborate with people that way. But you always have to have Pro Tools on the computer, because that's like the other one that like you're going to see quite a lot. So I have access to it, but I avoid it at all costs.
Do most people you know use Ableton that you collaborate with?
Yeah, most people I know use Ableton in terms of like producers. Then the next one down would definitely be Pro Tools. But like when I see like in big studios though, like when I've gone to like do like a vocal session or something for like a like I don't know, a client that's working like in a like they rented out a studio space or something. I usually see people working on Pro Tools in those environments. So yeah, it's interesting. It seems like in different environments, people are using different things.
For sure, for sure. Mar, what's your weapons?
Well, yeah, I would say voice notes definitely and absolutely. It's the main one. Like yeah. And my trusty unplugged electric guitar. And yeah, I would say Logic for me. Like I don't necessarily write on Logic, but it's like when I'm recording it, I'm also writing it, right? because it's like, you know, when you write a song and then you go to record it, you might be like, oh, but what if I want to do this instead? And you try it, it sounds a lot better. So yeah, I would say, yeah, like I said, voice memos, my guitar, and yeah, Logic.
There you go. Yeah, I use Logic myself. It took me a minute to get a hang of it because that thing, I swear, it's like it could fly a plane or something. I mean, so much you could do in that system. It's crazy. And there's stuff that you don't even know, you know. But the plugins are pretty good, pretty darn good. The drummer in there, now they got that virtual drummer thing, is like, oh my God.
It's literally God. It's literally God. It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
so real. So real. And you can take this part, splice it, and oh man.
Can
So
I give
yeah, I
you
like it.
can I give you a tip?
Yeah.
So obviously, the drummer is fantastic, but what I do is that when programming drums, I take like maybe like a section that the drummer plays and I just transport it into like manual notes so I can like manually adjust things here and there. And I splice it into individual instruments. So I have like a track for the cymbals, a track for the kick, a track for the it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I do the same thing. I convert it into MIDI and then, and then I pick different drummers for different parts because I like the hi-hat from this kit. I like the snare from that kit and, and so on and so forth. But no, Logic is pretty amazing. But God, it's a little bit of for me, a little bit of a curve. Took me a minute to be able to pilot that sucker because, whoo, too many options. Like you were saying, Madison, some of the DAWs you get in there, like, oh my God. And it's great because it's the possibilities are endless, but at the same time, it's like, man, it can almost do too much. But I do want to try Ableton. I mean, people have been talking about it for quite some time now, and I know that it seems like it's growing and growing, and everybody seems to say the same thing. It's just comfortable. Like get in there and you just can flow, right?
It's really intuitive. Like, again, I feel like I might have a bias though, because I'm like, this is what I really learned to produce on. So of course to me it's intuitive. So I don't know. I can't tell if it's like really the functionality or what, but there's certain things that yeah, like feel a lot easier. Even I've just gotten so used to editing vocals, especially on Ableton, that it feels so crazy to change to something else. Like their like crossfades and things like that are so intuitive and easy to understand that yeah. But also going back to what you guys were saying with putting everything on a different track for drums, man, mixing engineers love you. Like they're they must love that because you're really making it easier.
That many more tracks to mix down, I know. Why are you giving me 75 stems? Right?
No, unironically though, like no, I think they would actually literally love you because it's so much easier for
I can
them than
control
like
them.
they can like go on each thing and like really hone it in. Like that's for the best, I think. Like that's best practice probably.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
One time I got a track from a band and they were like, "Yeah, can you mix it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, yeah." And then he sent me four tracks, like guitar, bass, drums, vocals. I'm like, "Guys, come on." Like there's not much I can do with this.
Pretty mixed.
I
Want
was
me
like,
to turn the vocals up?
I can kind of like try to brick wall it as much as I can to make it sound like punchy or something, but like guys, come on, like the drums, nah, like
That is
Live
too funny.
drums with one mic. Man, yeah, that would be rough. Yeah.
But isn't it crazy how that's what they did back in the day? I mean, when you think about the Beatles or any of those bands, I mean, literally just in a room. That's amazing to me. It's amazing, right?
For sure. It's not and it's like so cool to see how like we've come so far in so many ways, but like in a lot of ways we're trying to chase that high of how things sounded back then. Like all of these I have so many like vintage warmer plugins and stuff like that, just trying to get some of that same sound.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many purists. There's so many purists out there. I've definitely interviewed some artists that they just record the tape. They're just old school, And I'm like, because how do you get this? Some of them, the sounds are like that sounds literally like something from the 70s. It's like because I'm only using 70s stuff, 70s gear, 70s boards. I'm like, all right, man. But I mean, that's cool. It's no one way to get there. Um, So awesome. So in wrapping up, let's do a roundtable of our goals for the next week and month. For me, I'm just continuing on. I'm just having fun. I mean, for me, getting back into releasing my songs, I am basically inspired by my cover band days. I was doing a cover band a couple of years ago and just trying it out. I'd never done a cover band, and it was kind of fun. I've been such an original guy my whole life. I just thought, let me have some fun with it. But in doing that, I discovered songs that actually fit, have decent for my voice and have a decent vibe. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking these songs that were part of the set list and putting my own spin on them. And at the same time, I'm kind of using that as inspiration for the original track. So Giggity, I'm also writing a song that's in that no diggity vibe. BPM, it's got a cool vibe, it's got a little, you know, feel to it, and that's what I'm up to. The goal is to release one song a month. Um, Madison, how say you?
Yeah, I'd say really similar like mindset here of like now that I've budgeted out for the next couple weeks the time to create these songs, now I just need to do it because I need to have two songs done by the end of the summer. So it's basically one song a month as well is kind of my goal here. So yeah, just need to do the thing as well as I need to figure out what the heck I'm doing for the album art for these songs too. So kind of getting back to what we were saying in the beginning of like everything around the music can be what's so complicated. So yeah, I'm going to be digging into my archives and trying to edit up some mock-ups of potential album art as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You do your own art for the artwork?
Sometimes I used to um invest more in the artwork. Like I had commissioned a couple in the past from like just artists that I really liked that I was just like, I'm just a fan of theirs on Instagram, and this is an opportunity for me to have an original piece of it. But yeah, I had a little bit more savings in those moments. Now I don't. So I'm like, okay, we're returning to a more DIY operation. I have other ones that I've made my own album art and I did really like them. So yeah, that's the plan this time around.
Very cool. Very cool. Mar, what's on the plans?
Well, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I do want to get down those like videos for social media recorded this weekend so I can just have them there and just post them. And yeah, also like I mentioned, finish those two songs like completely next week. Should take me maybe like 3 days to finish. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope to finish those songs because they're just sitting there collecting dust. And yeah, just get those, playthrough videos for Instagram Reels.
It's a must. That's a necessary evil, but in this day and age, we got to done with the days of being the mystery artist. I mean, my favorite artist, Prince, the most mysterious dude on the planet. It worked for his time, but today, if Prince was coming out today, maybe it would work. I don't know, but maybe he'd be on social media, because well, he was before he died, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, him coming out as an artist, he might have been up on Instagram and 24/7. It's just what we got to do. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. So yeah, so thank you both so much, and this was an awesome Q and A. Maddie, where can people find you online?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Maddie Meows, so MADDIEMEOWS. And yeah, you'll see it's Maddie aka Mimi Mai. Mimi Mai is my artist name. So if you want to find me on Spotify, you'll find me at Mimi Mai, so MIMI space MY.
Got you. Very cool. Mar, where can they find you?
Nowhere. I'm mysterious like that. No, I'm kidding. No, you can yeah, on Instagram, I'm as Mar dot himself. So at Mar himself. And Spotify Mar Fox. Pretty simple.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That was awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.